All right. Hey, YouTube, I'm Lucky, and today is Thursday, and so that means it's time to cover the TWAB. Bungie dropping an absolute bomb on us in regards to Trials matchmaking changes. Last week, we got to experience the first ever solo queue exclusive playlist, separate from the normal Trials playlist. A lot of you enjoyed that. A lot of you went flawless with that. Let me know if you enjoyed that in the comments below. But now, Bungie is trying something new and a bit adventurous. We'll see if it works out well for them. So far, they've made a bunch of good, interesting changes. This one could be good, could be terrible. We'll see. First up, they just talk about a few little small things in regards to Festival of Lost, and then they jump right into the Trials matchmaking changes. Now, there's a lot of data being thrown out here, but basically, I'm going to summarize all of this for you. They're trying to lower the amount of blowouts. They're trying to make the matchmaking queue times reasonable. They're trying to, keep player replayability in there, and they also definitely liked the freelance, and they're thinking about making that potentially a more consistent playlist. But it definitely doesn't seem like that's going to be 100% around all the time anytime soon right now. One of the things that was really interesting is that players played more trials this weekend because they had the option to play as a team, and then if their team fell apart for whatever, if they lost or if they had a player had to go, they could queue into trials. So they ended up playing on average 3 times more, and that was actually a really interesting stat. So I like to see that, players playing more is a big thing. And when you can't find a team, you'll just solo queue. And then while you're waiting on LFG to find a team or whatever it may be, and finally get your team, then you go into the team playlist, etc. That's cool to see. I think I like that dynamic quite a bit. 244,000 freelance exclusive players. The numbers were amazing. Everything was good overall. The overall blowout rates, you can see the chart between, they've got October 5th compared to October 12th. You can see the difference in spikes there. They want the games to be a lot closer to 5-3, 5-4. And so this is what they're doing to do this. They're potentially going to be doing right here. We like the overall outcome and vibe of the freelance queue, and both playlists seem to have a viable amount of players. We're looking at running freelance occasionally for the remainder of Season 15, but are trying to determine what feels right. We'll let you know. They're going to potentially do a playlist. This is interesting right here. Long term, we're exploring some single playlist solutions, preferential matching of fire teams against other full fire teams, duo plus solo against duo plus solo. We don't have any specific release target for this yet. It will not be prior to Season 16. So that's going to be interesting to see those changes as well. I feel like that would make it more fair. Fire team versus fire team, duo plus solo versus duo plus solo. That could work. I think that could definitely be a viable change to add some, you could solo queue into trials. You're going to get with the duo pair. And then if you do that, then, conversely, you'll be playing against a duo plus solo pair. So I see that being as maybe even better than having 2 separate playlists, because that does make the queue times a little bit longer, but we'll see. Flawless pool changes. So this is it right here, the big controversial one. A lot of people are going to be raging about this on Twitter. Your favorite Trials content creators are going to be giving their opinions, that's for sure. Starting tomorrow, we are rolling out a new system and leaning into weekly performance metrics. Whenever you match in Trials, in addition to trying to match with people with the same number of card wins, you will also attempt to match with people who have roughly the same number of overall wins for the weekend. If you can't find anyone to match against, it will eventually expand out to find a less similar match. So basically, if you have someone who's doing, let's say, Trials carriers, or someone who's playing a ton, Sherpas, YouTubers, Twitch streamers are going to hate this quite a bit, because they're going to be playing all day Friday and they're going to acquire 100 plus wins, right? And then Saturday, they're only going to match against the other YouTubers, Twitch streamers, Trials Sherpas that also have 100 plus wins, and then they're going to acquire 200 wins or maybe less because they have to match such tough people. Sunday, even more wins and even tougher matches. Monday would be the most brutal day for them because they'll have 200 plus wins. Who knows how many wins they'll have, right? Depends on how much they play and how often they win in this crazy matchmaking setup. And the reason why they're doing this is actually makes a lot of sense, but it's definitely unfortunate for the content creators. But the reason why is because if you went flawless before, if you just barely squeaked into that flawless pool, just made it to Lighthouse, then the next game you play and the rest of your experience for the weekend is just absolutely brutal, because you're playing against all the people that go flawless, not just one time. Like maybe if you just squeaked in one flawless, you're playing against people that go flawless 5, 10, 20, 100 times in a weekend regularly, and those people that go 100 times in a weekend, they're in there all the time, right? So you have to match them now. So you ended up having a sort of manageable route to getting flawless, but then afterwards you just got absolutely brutalized. And I know a lot of you out there watching this will definitely relate to that, because that's a good amount of people playing right now. Anyone, I think it was about 25% of the overall player base went flawless. If you went flawless, about, I don't even know how much of that 25% is getting destroyed afterwards, but a good amount, right? A good amount is getting destroyed, especially if you went in the solo playlist that was a lot easier to go flawless in. So these changes are happening here, and they actually go over the exact details. For the PvP, gods who go flawless 10 plus times a weekend, they will end up matching with other players who have, for example, 70 plus wins on their cards, no matter how they got them. For the average team who gets a lucky flawless in on a Friday or Saturday on their first card, well, they will be matching against other players with around 7 wins, no matter how they got them. And so that's the whole point of all this. That's the point of these changes. They're trying to make it so it's not such a steep difference between non-flawless and flawless players. I think this is a good change on paper, but obviously, everyone's going to vote for what benefits them the most, right? So like me, someone who does trials carries and plays a lot of trials, I'm obviously going to have a rougher time with it. So, but overall, if it's better for the community as a whole, I'm not going to fight it too much. It does seem like it's going to be pretty freaking brutal for me this weekend. We'll see though. We'll see how it goes. They have the overall stats for the solos and stuff overall, and that is the big change, and that's the big controversial one they're going to be talking about. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comments below. Then they go ahead and talk about Liana, aka I believe is Dirty F and Hippie is her Twitter handle, and she is the new community manager that's added to the team. They've got Cosmo, who's the lead, and then they've got DMG, and then now the third community manager is Liana Rupert, I believe is her name, and she's Dirty F and Hippie on Twitter. Go find her. Then they go over the costumes that won. They go over pumpkins and such, movie of the week, etc., and then all these little bugs and stuff in the game. And then the last thing that they do cover later down here after movie of the week, they have artist of the week, and Iron Banner is next week. So get ready for that. If you're trying to play some Iron Banner, next week at weekly reset, we're playing Iron Banner. I don't know why there wasn't an announcement at Tuesday, but either way, next week's Iron Banner, and that is wrap on today's TWAB. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you subscribe with notifications on, like I always say. I'm going to bring you all the news no matter what it is in Destiny 2. Smash the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Later.